All right. Okay, so let us start. Just a second. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And I welcome you all to this demo session for RHCE exam preparation. So RHCE exam preparation is what? You will be learning Ansible automation tool. Okay, so Ansible automation. Uh, this Ansible tool is from Red Hat. It's Red Hat Ansible, and we are going to learn it. There are several topics in it, and the purpose of this Ansible automation tool is to basically automate your infrastructure. And when I say automate, you can automate everything. You can automate things on Linux machines, Linux servers, Windows, networking devices, storage devices, cloud, virtualization infrastructure like VMware, vSphere, KVM, everything. You name it and you can do the automation. Okay. But when we talk about the RHCE certification, so this is from Red Hat Certified Engineer. So Red Hat Certified Engineer certification wants you to learn Ansible automation and wants you to implement the automation on Linux operating system. Okay. So when I say RHCE, it's the combination of these two. The prerequisite is you should know basics of Linux operating system. And then in RHCE, we are going to learn this Ansible automation tool. Okay, so this is RHCE exam preparation course. We learn Ansible end to end. Obviously, we won't be covering the Windows networking devices. We'll be focusing on the Linux part initially. If required, we can focus on the Windows part as well. Okay, so initially we work on the Linux. We understand how to perform the automation, how to design your automation like that. Okay, so before I explain you the table of contents and what we are going to do, let me introduce myself. My name is Amit, and I am, I have the experience as an automation architect, and I've been in the industry from the last 13 years. Started as a Linux administrator, so slowly and steadily moved into automation. Initially, Bash shell scripting automation, and then purely on Ansible. Okay, so now I'm into the designing the automation strategies for my organization as a automation architect. Okay, so I'll again, as far as certifications are concerned, I am RHCSA, RHCE certified along with OpenShift, which is containerization. And so yeah, so I'll be trying my best to give you the experience what I have learned in the 13 years, share that in the form of PDFs or in the form of books, whatever we are going to use as a medium to learn. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so before I start, if you have any doubts, any questions regarding Ansible or anything around it, you can let me know. Okay, anyone? All right, I think there is no question. Okay, so let me start. Okay, to start with RHCE Ansible automation tool, what are we actually going to learn? So we are going to learn these many topics which I've listed, starting from the basics, the basic tool or the basic of Ansible, how Ansible works, the configuration part, the automation, how to initiate the automation, how many ways we can initiate the automation. Okay. At the same time, as I said, you need to have Linux knowledge. If you don't have Linux knowledge, no worries. What I have designed is we'll be first discussing some part of the Linux while we are covering the topics. Okay. Let's say there is a task. Add user Amit on 100 machines. So first I'll explain you in Linux, how do you run the basic command to add a user? Okay, and then we will convert that command into automation so that on 100 servers, that automation can run. Okay, user Amit will be added to all 100 servers. Okay, so this is how we proceed in the course. If you don't have Linux knowledge that much, no worries. I'll try my best to explain you things. And if you have the Linux knowledge, then it will be easy for you. Okay. So the first topic is, okay, see, when I say Linux knowledge, you should have knowledge in these 4-5 points. First, understand and use essential tools, which means the basic commands. Second, operate the running systems. The applications or the servers which are running on your operating system, you should be able to manage them, start, stop, edit the configuration like that. Configure local storage. As a Linux engineer or a Linux administrator, you should be able to perform the partitioning on the hard disk or create LVMs. Okay. And then deploy and configure file systems. Again, it is part of local storage. Deploy, configure, and maintain systems. Again, application management, system update, everything. Manage users and groups, user add, user delete, all those things. And finally, manage security. In security, there are two things, SE Linux and Firewall. So if you know all these topics, it's good. If you don't know, don't worry. So I'll try my best to explain you in detail, and then only we can proceed with automation, right? All right, so this is the actual start of Ansible. We start with learning how to manage Ansible, how to configure Ansible, starting with inventories. Inventory is a file where you mention all the servers where Ansible has to perform the automation. Okay. And then the modules, like in Linux, we run the commands. Okay. Similarly, the commands are converted into modules in Ansible and you use them to run as automation. Okay. Facts are nothing, just variables. You need to store the system information as a fact, as a variable, right? Plays and playbooks. When you are performing complex automation, you have to write all the instructions in a file that is called a playbook. And a playbook can have multiple plays. I'll explain you the concept later. Then configuration files. Various configuration files are used in Ansible automation. Again, we will be having look. And documentation part, which is really important. You as an automation engineer, you should have access to Ansible documentation. Although it's already there in the system, you should know how to use it. Documentation will help you find the exact format of the automation, how to use it with examples. You can use the examples straight away. Okay. Next one is install and configure Ansible control node. Now, what is an Ansible control node? Let me just try to make you understand. See, when we say Ansible, what is happening? In fact, let me use this drawing pad, note, a whiteboard. So just imagine that this is your company network, and in your company network, there are some servers. Okay, let's say this is machine number 1. In fact, let me have a color over here. Okay, so like this, there are multiple machines in your network. Some are Windows, some are Linux, right? Just a second, I need to remove this. Yeah. Okay, so just take this, all of this as a company network, and you have multiple systems. Now the problem is, let's say again, as an example, you need to add a user by the name Amit on all of these machines. So what to do? Can you? The first way is, very easy one, not the easy one, the most commonly used. Log into each machine, okay, add the user and log out. Okay, confirm and log out. So log into each machine and log out. This is fine, but there are 100 machines on your network, in your project. There are 100 Linux machines and Windows machines. How will you do it? It will take you 2 or 3 days, or maybe 2 days if you are working alone. Okay, so the next best option is the automation. You can use the Ansible automation tool. Okay, and you do the and you perform the automation, it will complete the job within 10 to 15 minutes maximum. All the 100 servers will be covered. User will be created. 15 minutes time, you go out and have a coffee and everything will happen in the background. Okay, but how does it happen? I mean, how is this automation happening? To, to know, configure the automation, Ansible automation, you need to have a server which is called control node. Okay, why it is called control node? Because Ansible is installed here. Okay, control node, and here in this machine, Ansible will be installed as an application, as a software. This will be installed. Okay, so in short, where the Ansible is installed, it is called control node. Now, this control node, from this control node, the Ansible tool will be initiating connections to the other machines. So for example, this is a Linux machine. So control node will be initiating SSH connections. It will connect to all Linux or Windows machines, and it will perform the automation. Okay, so this is how it works. From control node, everything is controlled. So these connections are what? These are SSH connections. Okay, so Ansible control node, or Ansible is going to use SSH to connect to the endpoints, and the automation will happen. So these endpoints or the machines are called managed nodes, where automation has to happen. Okay, so control node and the managed node. So all these are managed nodes where automation is supposed to happen from control node. Okay, so basic terminology, not big deal. Only thing to remember, Ansible uses SSH to connect to all these machines. I hope you know SSH, the connection protocol. Okay, coming back to this table of contents. So how to install and configure Ansible control node? It's not a big deal. Simply, you have to install the required packages, configure the inventory file. You mention all the machines where automation will happen, and configure the Ansible configuration file. That is it. These three things, and you are good to go. Okay, I'll tell you how to do that. It's very easy. Next one is configure Ansible managed nodes. Configure a Ansible managed node means you just have to make sure these nodes or these servers are reachable via SSH, and it has specific version of Python installed. That's it. You're done. Okay, you just have to make sure Python is installed and they are reachable via SSH. Okay. Next one is administrative task, or create shell scripts where it will use Ansible to do the admin level work. Yes, we can do this in combination. We can use shell script. Okay. Shell script, inside shell script, I can use Ansible command and connect to the managed nodes and do the automation. This is also possible. We will see how it is done. It's very easy. Then create Ansible plays and playbooks. Now, as I said, when you're dealing with a complex automation, you have to inform, or you have to, type all the commands, all the instructions in a file. That file is called playbook. Okay, for example, let me show you one small example. You have to add user Amit to 100 machines. What I'll do is, I have two options. First option is Ansible space all -m user -a name equals to Amit. This one single line will connect to all the 100 machines and create the user Amit. That's it. So here, Ansible is the command. All means all the servers which are mentioned in inventory file. Okay, 100 servers, 200 servers, whatever it is. -m is the module. I'm using user module. -a is the arguments for the user module. Name equals to Amit. I can also say, give a custom UID. So UID equals to 3500. You want to assign a different shell equals to bin sh. I can do everything. Okay, so this is the power of Ansible automation. This is one way. Other way is doing the same stuff in a file, mentioning everything in a file. So when we talk about playbook, the syntax is a bit different. Playbook will use YAML syntax, which I'll discuss later, not now. So in a playbook, you simply create a file. Inside that file, you create the same instructions in a specific format. It will look like this. hyphen name. This is just a comment. Add user on 100 machines, on all machines, let's say, all servers. Okay. Hosts, all means all the servers which are mentioned in inventory file. Task, what we should do, or what automation has to happen. So automation is what? Hyphen name. In fact, let me call the user module straight away. User module, name will be Amit, and state is present. And there will be indentation, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. So this single line is now converted into a playbook and looks like this. You may feel that, okay, this is the more easier one. Yes, this is more easy. But when we talk about complex automation, there are at least 30 commands to run in that automation. Then this is not the right way. You won't be able to run 30 commands like this. The right way is this in a file, because here you can add some conditions. Let's say if user is already present, then add Amit 2, or let's say Rohit user. If Amit is already there, add Rohit user. These conditions can be applied in this file, and this file is called playbook. So I'll explain you all the rules. I'll explain you how to do this, because it is just the matter of 3-4 lines and you will be able to perform this automation. Okay, it saves time. The benefit of automation for a company is they are saving money on the resources. For example, if to manage 100 servers, a normal organization, sorry, not 1,000, 100 servers, a normal organization needs at least 5 Linux admins. Okay, so this is a standard 20 per admin, 20 servers per admin. But if you have an automation team, or you have a Linux admins with automation skills, you can have one admin over 100 machines. Okay, one admin for 100 machines. So company is, basically saving money for the remaining 4 resources. So this is how automation is beneficial for the companies. They are always going to ask you to get upskilled in automation. They will promote automation in the organization, in the project, like that. Okay, tell me how many of you are working right now? In the chat, you can just let me know with experience. How many of you working? And yes, if yes, then how many years of experience? Anyone? Okay, 2 years, 2 years, perfect. 7 years, okay. 1.5, okay. All right, see again, anything above 1 or 2 is a good number. You have a good chance. Okay, Usman, 5 years, no worries. Okay, so you have a good chance to upskill yourself and to switch your profile. If you're working as Linux admin right now, okay, so let me give you some scenarios. If you're working as Linux admin right now, you can upskill yourself and just learn Ansible automation. That's it. If you're in a different domain altogether, let's say you're in networking side, you're network admin, and you entirely want to switch to DevOps, then okay, no worries. You learn Linux, the fundamentals, plus Ansible automation, plus cloud. Okay, and when you learn cloud, there is a very big chunk of network as well. Since you already have the network skills, it will be easy for you to understand. And this is how you enter the world of DevOps. The moment you install Ansible, you are in DevOps. Okay, the moment you learn Ansible, you are in DevOps. Then it's the matter of the platform, the cloud, which cloud, AWS, Azure, anything else, GCP, it can be anything. All right, so Ansible again, and I just said, you have like 3 years, 5 years of experience. You might be seeing a push from your organization to get upskilled or just to learn automation. If you're working as a network admin, learn network automation. If you're working as Linux admin, learn Linux automation. Okay, it's because the companies want to save money. We are in the era of AI, ML, automation, right? So no organization wants to skip on this part. So they want to keep the manual work as a low priority. Automation has to be the first priority. Everything automated. All right. Coming back here. Okay, do we have any doubts till now or any questions? Okay, there is one chat. Okay, no. All right.
So what are other automation tools?
Okay, in the industry you're talking about?
Yes. Yes, yes.
All right, okay. See, let me start from the basic part. The automation starts, if you're a Windows admin, it starts at PowerShell. If you're a if you're a Linux administrator, it starts at shell scripting. Okay, so PowerShell scripting also, which is the same thing, and shell scripting. Okay, then the next level is Ansible automation. Okay, and then if you're dealing with the cloud, or we can say your project or your client, the client's infrastructure, client's server, and everything is on the cloud, then maybe your organization is already using this automation called Terraform. Okay, Terraform is there. Before Terraform, the popular one was Vagrant. Vagrant is also kind of an automation tool, which is used to deploy machines. You can create virtual machines or instances on the cloud, virtual machines on hypervisors automatically. Operating system will be installed automatically. Let's say a new project came up to your organization. You're working for, let's say, HCL or Accenture. Okay, a new project got awarded. Now you have to set up 1,000 machines in a week. So Vagrant is there, Terraform is there. Now Ansible is also there. You can use Ansible for the same job. Okay. Even with Ansible, you can manage the containers. Okay. The physical servers, the virtual servers, everything. As I just said, complete infra, VMware infra, KVM. Again, it is another hypervisor from Red Hat. VMware is from the vSphere is from VMware. Cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, storage devices, SAN devices, I mean, networking devices, switches, routers, Windows servers, Linux servers. Everything can be managed with Ansible automation. Are we going to learn everything? No. We are going to learn Ansible automation on Linux. This is part of RHCE. But if you know this, you can also work with Windows. As I said, I'll be explaining you how to deal with it. It's very easy. When you know the first part, you know the remaining part as well. Okay, it's all about using the modules, just like I used here. User module is for Linux. If I want to create a user in Windows, it will be win_user module. Simple. Now this way, only on Windows server, this user Amit will be created. And I need not to mention shell and UID. Amit user will be created on the Windows server, Windows machine. It's all module based. Okay. For networking devices automation, again, there will be a different module. So, I mean, just an example, for Linux, there are 3,000 modules available. For Windows, there are maybe 1,000 modules available. Similarly, you can do the automation. All right, so Terraform is there, Vagrant is there. Even, what we are going to do? As we need to practice Ansible with multiple machines, just as in the diagram. Control node, manage nodes. So in short, let me tell you, we need to have at least 3 to 4 machines minimum as in a lab. Okay, so if you have a laptop, 8 GB RAM or 4 GB even, we can deploy this lab, trust me. So we will be having, one control node and at least 2 to 3 managed nodes. Okay, so how to deploy this lab? You can do it manually. You can create virtual machines, 4 virtual machines, that's fine. But we will use Vagrant. This is how you get some exposure to Vagrant as well. Although Vagrant is not from Red Hat, not a Red Hat technology, it is from HashiCorp. So Terraform and Vagrant are from HashiCorp. HashiCorp is another organization. Okay. We will use Vagrant to deploy the lab, and it will be ready within like few minutes. Operating system pre-installed, everything done. We just have to log in and install Ansible and configure Ansible. Okay, so this is how we are going to learn Ansible. Okay, just a quick information of RHCE. The exam code is called EX294. Okay, so when you enroll to the exam, the exam code is EX294. And yes, as I said, you need to have the Linux knowledge and Ansible automation knowledge in order to clear this exam. Once you have this exam in hand, you can apply anywhere as an automation engineer or as a DevOps engineer, There are so many profiles available. All right. Let's continue with this. Next one is use Ansible modules for system admin task. Obviously, as I said, modules are used. So with respect to Linux, we will be using modules which are for package management, like install any application, remove something, update the operating system or the applications like that. Services, like background running services. We use systemctl, right? To start stop service. Similarly, there is a module for Ansible. We will be using it and the services can be started, stopped on multiple machines all at once as an automation. Firewall rules. We can deploy some firewall rules on the machines. We can create partitions and use them, start mounting them. We can also mount them permanently. We can apply the file system, everything with the help of modules. We can create cron jobs on Linux servers, multiple. We can work with SE Linux. We can manage users. In short, you can do everything on a Linux server with the help of this automation tool. I'm not talking about one server. I'm talking about multiple servers in bulk. Okay. Next one is work with roles. Now, what is a role? So role is a system where you as an individual create an automation. Okay, you have created an automation. Now you want to share your automation with other users as well, maybe in your own organization, maybe outside the organization. Okay, you can share the your own automation, Ansible automation, when you convert it into a role. I'll tell you how to convert your automation into a role. It's very easy. Once you create the role, you can upload it into the Red Hat Ansible Galaxy. Again, it's something which we will discuss. And then people from around the globe can log into Ansible Galaxy and download the code which you have prepared as a role. Okay, so this is something that you should be aware because when we talk about RHCS exam, every time you will be dealing with roles in every question. There are at least 16 questions. Duration is 4 hours in the exam, and you will be dealing with roles all the time. Okay, so this is again a very critical thing. Not a complex one, it's very easy. It's important. And lastly, use advanced Ansible features. Okay, Ansible features like there is a new thing called Ansible Navigator. Then there is one thing called Ansible Automation Platform. Okay, and create and use templates. So these templates are part of that only. So we are going to have a look how this automation is actually done in the companies. Configuring Ansible, working with it is different thing, and how this is working in any organization, that is different thing. Let me try to give you a demonstration. It will help you get the idea. Okay, so let me start all of these machines. Allow me a second. Not second, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. All right. Let me check the IP address of this machine. 128. Okay. Okay, so I am logging into one of the machines which I have configured with Ansible Automation Platform. Previously, it was called Ansible Tower. Ansible Tower is used to manage the automation. Okay, so I'm just trying to log into Ansible Tower. Oh, sorry, Ansible Automation Platform. It's not working. Okay, it is working. It took some time actually. We should see a login screen shortly. Okay, username, I'm using the root user. Okay, by the time this is happening, can anyone let me know if you don't have any knowledge about Red Hat Linux? Is there anyone who doesn't know Linux, Red Hat Linux, how to, run the commands and all? Anyone? Okay, I don't see any chat. Okay, that's fine. What is the problem? I'm not able to log in. Just a second. Let me check. Okay, I was using incorrect password. All right. So this is the thing that I'm talking about. This is called Ansible Automation Platform. Here, you don't have to write anything. You don't have to create any automation. We assume that automation files are already created. The playbooks, Ansible playbooks are already created. We have to use them here so that any person who doesn't know Ansible can also run the automation. So this is the Red Hat Ansible automation platform. It is for those who don't know Ansible, how it works, but they're still able to use the automation. Technically, we say they're able to consume the automation. Okay, so this is for consumption of the automation which you have created. Okay, one small example. So as an example, what I'll do, I'll just run this ping test. This is a template. Technically, it is called a template. Let me show it to you how it looks like internally. So it is a template. It has a name and it will run on all the servers which are here. See, whatever servers you see, node 1, 2, 3, 4. So this automation will run on these machines. What is going to happen? It is just a ping test. It is just checking if the servers are up or not. Are they in the network or not? Ping test. So I'll click launch. Automation is already prepared. Okay, I'll show you how this automation is happening in a bit. Okay, so now it is waiting for the output. Just hold on. In the companies, we see, for me, I daily log into this automation platform, AAP, Ansible Automation Platform. And then based on the requirements, maybe I have to design a new automation and then test it out on this automation platform. See, ping test is running now. It is checking the servers one by one, and then it will tell us, okay, see, you see, gathering facts. Gathering facts is just collecting the information of all the servers. Then it says ping, task was ping. Hold on. Yeah, this task was ping. So ping module was used to connect to the servers, and I can see I'm getting okay reply. All these servers are ready for the ping. We can say they are up and running. And finally, we get a summary. I can download this log and show it to you. Okay, so this is how it looks. The output looks like. So ping was successful on all the machines. You see on my virtualization, I have node 1, 2, 3, 4. So the ping was successful all the machines 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the recap. Recap means a kind of a summary. What happened? hold on. Yeah, node 1. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. So node 1, okay means it's reachable. Node 2, node 3, node 4. So I was able to check if machines on my network are up and running, are able to connect or not. So if you do it by yourself, let's say there are 100 machines, you will run ping command on 100 machines, or you will use a shell script. Okay, shell script. Inside shell script, you will use a loop. You will mention the servers and on, all those things. But in Linux, it is just in Ansible, it is just one single command. Or in the form of playbook, there are maybe one or two instructions, lines of instruction. Okay. Now, if you ask how does this automation works, where is the automation code? So for that, let me again open this automation platform, go to the details and see. Job template name was ping test, and it is part of a project called, where is the project name? Test. So let me get into test project. It will tell me how is this working. So this is the test project. It says get the automation files from this URL. So this is GitHub. So on the GitHub, I have saved my automation. Let's see. And here it is, ping.yaml file. If I open it, so this is the line. That's it. The ping test. This is the automation happening. Okay. So it's a series. This is something we do it in the end. I don't want to confuse you guys, but I'm just trying to say this is how things work in any industry, in any company, any project. You have to keep your automation in an online repository like github.com. Okay. So like I have my repository created. Right now there is one. Going forward, I mean, when we start the class, we'll be creating all the automation here. Okay. Initially, we will create the files on the machines. And then when it comes to the Ansible tower, I'll be creating all the automation here. Okay. So Ansible tower or the automation platform is going to connect to this github.com. I've mentioned this URL here. See, this URL is already in the project configuration. Here it is. And from here, all the automation files are collected. Then we create a job template. In the job template, we say which file to run. So in this job template, ping test, we have the file. Let's see carefully what is the file name. And the playbook name is ping.yaml. And we can see here it is ping.yaml. Okay. So in my project, in my online repository, there can be hundreds of playbooks. But with the help of templates, we define which playbook to run. It works like this. Any doubts till now? All right. One other example I would like to give you, apart from adding a user or ping test. See, there is a one monthly activity which happens on every project, which is called server patching. Server patching is in the sense you update the servers every month, and it's part of the compliance because customer wants you to maintain the servers. Servers are maintained when you update them regularly. Most of the time, it is once in a month. Okay, so if there are like 1,000 Linux machines in your project on and only 10 or 15 guys are working on it, so don't you think it will utilize everyone's full day to patch the servers, to log into the server, run the command, DNF update, like that. A better option is to create a small automation using Ansible. Okay, create a file called let's say update.yaml. Okay, and then use this Ansible tower, define the project, define the playbook, and mention on which servers this playbook should run. Okay, so we can mention the servers like in this template. If I click edit, you will see in the limit. Okay, I haven't mentioned the limit. If nothing is mentioned in the limit, then the automation happens on all the machines which are in inventory. And this is the inventory, ABC inventory. If I click on inventories on the left, here is inventory, click on it. And click on host, you will see all the servers. So these are the machines, see 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So automation will happen on all of these machines. Okay, and this is the final thing you do When you learn Ansible, this is the end part. This is how you're going to manage end-to-end automation. You create that automation, you save it on online repository, then you create a project, map the project with the online repository, create a template and launch the template. And once the template is created, you just have to click launch next time. See this. If I click on templates, there will be a ping test. I just have to click this rocket, which is for launch. Click on launch, it will initiate. Whatever the task is defined, it will happen. Ping or update or user add, everything will happen automatically. It is that simple. This is why companies are going to encourage you to move to automation, any automation. Ansible is really in demand right now. Don't trust me. Just go to online job portals. Just type Ansible or Ansible automation platform, and just in the filter, change the experience from fresher to 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, as per your experience, and then check how many jobs are available, which organizations are looking for Ansible developers and Ansible administrators, automation administrators, like that. You will see big names, big organizations are looking for people with Ansible skills. And see, Ansible test, I clicked on launch and it is done. Successful, which means all the servers are pingable. Okay, so if I can do it on 4, I can do it on 400 or 4,000. Not a big deal. Okay, so this is the overall package that I am going to teach you. Okay, so again, it is not just everything is from the book. Yeah, we'll be covering the book material as well, but mostly I'll be sharing my experiences also, because when you're actually working as a Ansible automation engineer, there are some operational challenges in every project environment. When I say environment, it means when you are working in a company, you're working in a project, every project will have its rules and regulations, right? So we have to follow that. So based on that, I'll be giving you certain scenarios. I'll be explaining certain scenarios, how to deal with such situations and all that stuff. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? All right. Okay, just a second, guys. I want to check one thing.